it is Michelle with two L's, and I am one half of Force of Light Entertainment. Nadley is obviously not with me today, but I do have with me my other sibling, our brother, Michael. Michael, good to have you.
Hello, good to be here.
Yeah, Michael has been on our channel many times, and he's going to be discussing the topic today, which we are going to be discussing what's going on in California as Disney. Last week, we discussed this last week on the weekly roundup with Cameron Pasha, how Disney had multiple executives talking on their, I think, to their kind of their financial situation, but they're talking about what they're going to be doing. And they started really saying how they wanted to have like a percent of all their characters be basically a part of the LGBT, the alphabet. I mean, the letters keep continuing. They've literally added new letters recently, but part of that community. And this coming after them having comments about the new bill that was passed in Florida and being frustrated with that. And people were not happy when and then it wasn't just one video that pronounced that. Then the next day they doubled down on how they want to begin to really put this in kids' movies. And guess what? Parents aren't happy about this. And people are now calling for boycotts of Disney. So we're going to take a quick look at this video. This again is happening not in Orlando, but in California. And obviously they're at the Walt Disney Studios. And that's it. And yeah, so that's going on today. Michael, I mean, what are your kind of thoughts? I'm one that I believe ultimately, if people want change in our society, you just need to vote with your wallets at the end of the day. You don't have to even do a protest like that if you don't want. I mean, it's if you want to do it, fine. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Like, at what point do people just begin to? It's one thing to say boycott Disney. It's another thing to maybe not give Disney as much of your money.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that over the past, say, 5 years, maybe you could take it back a little longer than that, but Disney has lost revenue because of the political stances that they've taken. I think the issue is they haven't lost enough revenue because, you know, many of the things that they've done that I truly believe, and I can't prove it, but I believe they would have grossed significantly more if they hadn't have taken the approach that they did. They still were very profitable. So Disney basically is like the kid who's got the tree house that everybody wants to go to. You know, they feel that they have a certain leverage because people are going to come to them anyway.
Well, and because they own so much, from the parks to all the big IPs that they own, Star Wars, Marvel, all the stuff, Disney Plus. I think they do feel somewhat. I mean, it seems that they feel a little bit that they can't be touched, so to say.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But here is, I think, they've underestimated, I believe, this. I don't know what you want to. This variable is. It seems like in this particular subject of teaching things to children in the area of sexual orientation, I think that the minds behind this agenda felt that the vast majority of Americans would just sit back and take it. Well, we've seen that now states are passing laws to see to it that this agenda doesn't go forward. Florida has passed the law already. I just heard yesterday, Ohio has a law that is cranking its way through the House, Senate, through the state Senate and state Congress. I'm sure Ohio will not be the last state. I'm sure there may be some other states that are doing the same thing that Ohio's doing. I just specifically heard about Ohio yesterday. And I think that the mothers that showed up at school boards to combat some of the things that are being taught in schools. I think that was shocking to many people who felt that we would just mind our business, keep our head in the sand, and not do anything. And I think that probably some of that same outrage of mothers, which, by the way, crossed political barriers. It was
Well,
Republican mothers and Democratic mothers.
I was going to bring up, I saw a recent poll that they did. I mean, take
Mhm.
polls, I guess, with a grain of salt or whatever. But a recent poll I saw about the Florida bill that kind of began this Disney kind of speaking out on these topics recently. And it was almost 60% of Democrats did not mind the bill that was recently passed in Florida. So I mean, just showing you again that they really have underestimated how many people do not want these type of things pushed upon their children.
Yeah, and I don't think the bill in Florida has even gone far enough. I haven't seen the details of the bill in Ohio, but the bill in Florida, if I'm reading it right, it only guarantees this through like the third or fourth grade.
Yes,
How
yeah,
about how
it's
about
through
taking
it's
this
through the third
through?
grade.
What's that?
Yeah, it's through the third grade, I
Yeah, I mean,
believe.
how about taking this at least through junior high? I mean, why is there any place in junior high to have these kind of conversations? And in my opinion, there's no place in high school to have these kind of conversations. Kids are going to pick up their ideas about it in the, based on the world that we live in, the upbringing that they have, and then whatever choices they make. I don't think it's the place of the public school to try and influence sexual orientation. And that's the point of the bill, is to take that right or that ability away from the state, so that that's not something that parents have to worry about. And I think that Disney is severely underestimating the backlash that's going to happen from this. And I think that if they looked at many of these ridiculous characters that they have created, trying to check some type of political woke box, and the support and the reception that those characters have gotten has been nil.
Yeah, totally.
And so now take it to another level of this sexual orientation with the character. And I think that it's going to go from a non-receptive, but just kind of silent reception, to a very noisy rejection.
Yes, because and I don't know how far they want to go, but I mean, if they start talking about putting this type of stuff, say, in a Frozen 3 or those type Pixar movies, Buzz Lightyear, as there's already apparently some kind of character in that community is in the new Buzz Lightyear movie. People are I think they use the right word. They've underestimated how angry people are going to get over that. And it will backfire big time, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, I currently live in Florida. I don't think I'm going to live in Florida that much longer. So it was something that I wanted to do while we're just an hour from Orlando to
Oh yeah, to go to the Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, to go to Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars. So that was something that I was going to do. As much as Disney irritates me, as much as their new Star Wars has not been, as far as the trilogy goes, has not been my cup of tea, I still was going to suck it up. I was going to pay $600 and I was going to take everybody in there. I went, and it so happens that I guess you can't even just show up at Disney anymore. You have to have tickets in advance. And so they didn't let me in. I was already in Orlando anyhow, so it's not like I made a special trip. I thought, we're here, let's go ahead and go. So my plan was, well, we'll schedule another date while I know we're still going to be in Florida, and we'll still go over and do it. Well, after this, I'm not going to do it, because it's just not worth it to me to reward a corporation that is so out of touch with the average American's values that I'm just not going to reward them with my $600. And yes, that means nothing to them. That's a drop in the bucket. But if you multiply that by 25 or 30 or 40 or 50,000 families' decisions, then it's going to be something. It may be even more than that. I don't know. But I believe it's going to be something that they're going to feel.
Yeah, I think definitely. And again, especially even with movies, if parents go to a movie, a Frozen, Buzz Lightyear, whatever, and they see that beginning to be pushed on kids' movies,
yeah,
I think that you're going to see massive box office drops at that point, because most parents, I know that that is cool in California to that group in Hollywood, but
Mhm.
most American parents don't really want sexual orientation discussed with their children, and rightfully so. And Disney is, it seems, going to have to learn, I guess, a hard lesson. And we'll see. Will people actually stick to what they are saying? Again, it's one thing to say boycott Disney. That doesn't do anything. Are people going to keep supporting? And Disney owns so much, it's hard to just fully rip them out of your life. But I mean, if people begin to even just cut things out, as I think people will begin to do.
Well, and that's, I think that that is probably the likely scenario. I think that you probably have a small percentage of people that are going to like 100%
Yeah.
boycott Disney, because some people probably don't even know all that Disney actually owns, but start to cut out and Disney's already accomplished this well. They
Yeah.
are becoming, if you want to do a study in business school, I think MBA programs, undergraduate business programs should begin a study in woke corporate ideology and see how it impacts companies, because Disney now has this amazing capacity to buy golden gooses and turn them into non-producing assets such as ESPN. They have
Yeah. Yes.
destroyed ESPN. I mean, I'm on sports message boards and things, and I see very regularly sports fans who put on these message boards their disdain for
Mhm.
ESPN, who these same people, myself included, loved ESPN 20 years ago.
Yes, and it's just like that can begin to happen with these other IPs, as it kinda already has. And yeah, Disney needs, it's time to wake up. So we'll see, guys. We'll see how far this goes. We'll see how far Disney wants to keep pushing this, and we'll also see, are people gonna put their money where their mouth is? Are they going to begin to pull back from spending as much money at Disney or with Disney products? So we'll have to see, but that's it for right now as far as this. It kind of keeps heating up, it seems. But Michael, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome. And my prediction is yes. If I own Disney stock, I am now bearish on that stock. I'm selling that stock.
Well, there you go. There's your stock advice today as well. But thank you everyone for watching. If you are not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give the video a thumbs up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right. Bye, guys.